What's tomorrow, Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Thursday.
Do you know any of the 6 trig functions?
Wait.
Sohcahtoa.
Okay, so what functions do you know then? From Sohcahtoa?
Sine,
Cosine and
tangent.
Okay, do you know how to spell them?
S-I-N-E.
Okay, so that's sine.
C-O.
Then add a C-O to that.
Okay.
Cosine.
T-A-N-G-A-N-T.
E-N-T.
Tangerine.
And okay.
E.
Do you know the other
Tangent.
3?
Aren't they the opposite?
Wait.
Okay, they're the reciprocals of them. Do you know what they are?
Do they have a button on here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like,
Say
Um,
-1.
Yeah, it's
No.
but they're called something. It's called.
Invert.
When you see the -1 power, that's when you're trying to find the angle of sine, or the angle of cosine. Okay, cosecant.
Oh.
I didn't know. No?
Yeah, never would have guessed
Doesn't ring a
that.
bell.
Secant,
Cotangent? No.
cotangent.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I can imagine myself sitting in Mr. Wagner's room learning this right
Oh,
now.
boys, we got a big storm coming.
Yeah, I know. We're supposed to get like a foot and a half.
We got a big storm coming.
means it's gotta be good.
I don't believe
Please
it
tell me
unless
something.
it's
Yeah,
actually
if
here.
it starts.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I don't believe anything
We went
till
to-
like it happens.
I went to the store last night just to see what it was. You could feel like be getting out.
I'm at
From
rain.
online.
Like, this is
And
like a
holy
thunder.
crap, people are like
Crazy.
freaking out.
Yeah, I know.
We went
Okay,
to like Walmart and it was packed. They were like sold out of everything.
Bread, milk, essentials.
Because, you know, whenever you don't have electricity, you want to make French toast. Okay, pause right here for a second. Here is your next homework assignment. Probably gonna collect it next Friday. I don't really know for sure if I'm gonna collect it next Friday. Okay?
If anything, will it go back or forward?
It would go forward.
Forward. Alright.
Go forward.
Like, I'm not gonna like make it do earlier.
Oh, so
It'd be
it's gonna go
later.
back.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Alright.
And our homework is due
That'd be
tomorrow.
forward.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
back in terms of
It
dates.
goes like here.
Oh, okay. I was
Pushing the
thinking
date
like,
back, not pushing it forward.
okay.
You're looking at.
We're saying, yeah, we're both meaning the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I would not make it do earlier.
Alright.
Okay.
Does
So obviously, like what we're gonna start talking about today, just a second, is gonna cover stuff on 299. Yes.
cosecant go with sine? Or did you do it out of order?
No, cosecant goes with sine. Which is why it's so weird, because you think that cosecant and cosine would go together, but they don't.
Do you want us to draw triangles?
Oh, we're gonna talk about it in just a second if you want to. You can.
I think I kind of like this.
Okay, so you remember Sohcahtoa, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they were like sine was opposite over hypotenuse, cosine adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, did they ever talk about, Mr. White ever talk about letters that went with it, like which ones mean X or Y or?
I don't know. Probably not.
Okay, alright, so cosine is your X. Okay, now it's really X over the radius, but we're going to be talking about unit circles. And in a unit circle, if this is my radius, this distance right here is 1. So X over 1 would just be X.
We have to draw
Okay.
that circle.
Hold on. Do you want to
Is that what
later?
we're doing on the plate?
Yeah, I'm going to give you the option if you want to do it though.
Oh my gosh, we gotta stop talking about the
I
plates.
know. Okay, then sine. Sine is Y. How do I remember which one's which? It's alphabetical order. Cosine comes first in the alphabet. Okay, so it's the X. Sine comes second. Tangent is dividing them. Tangent is Y divided by X. Okay, then the rest of these are reciprocals. And I did put them in order. So cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So what would the reciprocal of Y be? 1 over Y. Okay, secant reciprocal of cosine. So 1 over X. And cotangent would be
X.
X over Y. Okay, and the reason why these are not, X and Y are not over anything, because they'd be over the radius, and the radius on a unit circle is 1. Okay. We're going to use these in a minute. Now I'm going to go back to your geometry knowledge. 45, 45, 90-degree triangles. Do you remember talking about those?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you know about them? So this is 45. This is 45.
Is it like the hypotenuse is the same as the leg times radical 2? Is that right?
Okay. Why?
Because Mr. Widener told me so.
How can you mathematically figure that out?
I don't know what she said.
Can
A
we
squared
repeat
plus
that?
B
Yeah.
squared equals C squared.
Okay, so we know the Pythagorean theorem
Yeah.
is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, what do you know about angles and sides?
The biggest angle is opposite from the longest side.
Okay, good. So the biggest angle has to have the longest side. What happens when they're the same angle? The sides have to be the same, right? So if these are both 45-degree angles, the sides that go with those have to be the same. So if you don't know what those are, let's label them X. So remember, the sides are opposite of the angle? So then how would I find the hypotenuse?
X squared
X squared
plus
plus
X squared
equals,
C squared.
so 2x squared plus c squared. So to find c, you do the square root. Okay, so Ruthie said it was x squared root of 2, right? She's right, okay? But this is actually how you find this. Okay, now you ready for me to blow your mind?
Yep.
Yes.
All right,
That was hard.
unit circle. Where would 45 degrees be?
And first in the middle.
Okay, it would be, so if this is 0, this is 90, it's gonna be right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I drop this down, it's gonna make a 45, 45, 90-degree triangle.
Okay.
Okay? This point is square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2.
Oh, boy.
Okay, any idea how I know that?
It's supposed to. Yeah, I know.
Because the radius is 1.
Okay, so the radius is 1. So where would my radius be on this triangle?
Wouldn't be the hypotenuse.
Okay? So if I know my radius is 1, excuse me. Everybody okay so far?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I plug that in, if I know 1 has to equal x squared root of 2, what is x equal to? How would I solve for x?
Square.
Divide by square root of 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, now what's wrong with leaving this way?
You can't have a
You
square
would have
root.
the square root.
Okay. Okay, so each side then has to be the same, right? So those are both square root of 2 over 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those are both my sides. That means this point right here has to meet at both of those numbers. That's this and this. So we went square root of 2 over 2 this way, square root of 2 over 2 that way, and that's how you get that point.
What?
Mic drop.
Didn't you feel like your mind was just blown right there?
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. Do you need
What
to,
if it's not a unit circle?
we'll talk about that later. Everything today's gonna be unit circle.
Okay.
Oh, my lord.
Hey,
We'll do stuff that's,
One though.
we will, we'll do
Okay.
ones that are not.
That was
But we aren't gonna get there for at least probably till, well, definitely not till next week. Earliest we get there would be like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay.
Let's just try to figure this out first. Okay, know, or how do I know that this point over here is negative square root of 2 over 2 square root of 2 over 2?
Because
It's the same, just in a different quadrant.
Okay, good. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Sure
Okay.
does.
So then what happens down here?
It'd be
This is
negative.
negative,
Square root
negative,
of
square
2
root.
2 negative square root of 2.
They both be negative.
And then over here,
It'd be 2 square root of 2 negative square root of
Otherwise known as positive, negative.
2.
now, I know whenever you learned this in geometry, they just told you what the ratios were.
Yep.
But I want to explain why it's that way, because this is actually, totally have to use it for a unit circle. Okay, why am I mentioning the 30, 60, 90 triangles? Well, because the other perfect angles are 30 degrees and 60 degrees. So we use the 30, 60, 90 triangle.
So,
Okay?
you can return those next.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
that's a little harder for you guys to comprehend, I think.
She's just a Hannah next too. Not next, but later.
The what?
Hannah. She's gonna.
Oh,
Hannah's
Hannah
gonna
Ford's
cry.
on it.
Yeah.
It's a real video. Okay.
It's okay, Hannah, I'm right with you.
Alright.
I just remember she hated this in geometry.
Oh, yeah.
And it gets more intense.
I was fun. Geometry was my first ever C in class.
I don't really like geometry,
Math.
but I like geometry
I
when
love
I can
geometry.
understand this. Like to me, at least I understand, like, it makes sense why you need it.
It was so much easier.
Okay,
Yes.
what kind of triangle is this?
Equilateral.
Equal.
Trying to be
Equilateral?
I'm done with you.
Good job.
You can't be done yet, don't quit on me.
No, you're done with me.
I am why?
That look on your face.
Oh, I didn't mean to have a crappy look, I'm sorry. Okay, this is equilateral, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what happens if I cut, okay, hang on, before we cut in half. What do you know about equilateral triangle?
The sides are all.
Okay, all sides are the same, right?
Yes.
Okay. What happens if I cut this in half?
Becomes a 30,
Then you add a
60,
circle.
90.
It becomes a 30, 60, 90, right? Okay, so if I break this apart, just look at this half. We know this side was X. This is my 60-degree angle. And this is my 30-degree angle. And we made that a right angle. Okay, what do you know about this bottom length?
It's
It's
half.
It goes with.
It's a half X, right? Or X over 2?
Yeah.
Okay, how do I know that?
Because you
Because
can't do
it's-
this. You might have that.
Okay, because the whole thing was X, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I find this side?
Diagonal there.
Pythagorean theorem. So I would have a half X squared plus B squared equals X squared. Everybody good so far? Okay, so then I would have 1/4 X squared plus B squared equals X squared. Subtract a 4, so you have 3/4 X squared. And then if I want to find that side, I'm going to do the square root. So this would be square root of 3 over 2 X. Okay?
Oh,
Probably should have written all that down.
Yeah.
Alright.
let's just take a second to copy because I was actually paying attention.
Let me get through this one thing and then we'll take a break. How about that? Okay, so if this side would become 1, because it is 1, right? If we're looking at a 60-degree triangle.
Sure.
If this is 1, X is 1, what does it mean this number is? This side. Square root of 3 over 2, right? Just plug it. If X is 1, then this would be a half. Okay? Now, I'm not going to go into the full, like, Sohcahtoa part of it, but you know these two numbers are going to be the ones that you use. This up here would be a half square root of 3 over 2, which means 30 degrees It's the same numbers, right?
You
You're just
just
using
flip
another angle, you just flip the numbers. So this would be square root of 3 over 2.
Wow.
a half.
My teacher never showed me that.
Never?
No, we just had to memorize it like that. That makes
Well,
sense though.
I think memorizing is good and fun, but like I like to know like how do you get it?
Well, no, it helps you memorize if you know how to get it.
Yeah, if you know like how are we doing it?
Oh,
So.
man.
Okay, how do I remember which one's which? Okay, if I'm going out here, I have to go farther x-wise, right? This is farther away than this point is if I bring it down. So that means the biggest number would go in my x. And square root of 3 over 2 is bigger than a half. Okay? This one would have a shorter x because it doesn't have to go over as far to get up to that point. Alright, take a break.
I get it now.
Done.
Done.
Wow. Wait, I got a question.
Yeah.
So,
It's not a break.
okay, so square root. Okay.
Alright, stand up.
How long can you put?
You don't have to. Stretch.
Yeah, I can't stretch.
Ooh, man. I did crunches
Last
yesterday.
minute, Miss
Because I
Brown.
didn't want a six pack.
I would do
Back to
it.
the-
No, just right now. Because she always
Yeah, my
stand up
knees
and
after these ones.
take a stretch break.
Oh!
Likewise, you stay.
In weight training.
My arms are gonna hurt.
I got 3 scissors, that's all I
But
can.
this, oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah.
The only one I can see is my belly button.
I've been doing all
Maybe
this.
the one that's like a serious shirt, whatever.
Yeah, so do I.
It's okay, it's okay. Everything's covered up.
Oh, not right now.
And then my knees get stuck.
How we feeling? Feel overwhelmed or feel alright?
I'm good. Good.
Good?
Get better.
Am I saying alright? Okay. I'm gonna throw a question out, let's see if we can get the answer.
Okay.
Okay,
42.
what is the cosine of 30 degrees? Okay, I have everything written on the board for you to be able to figure this out.
Square root of 3 over 2.
Okay, it is a square root of 3 over 2. How do we know that? What's cosine mean?
X.
Cosine is x.
The adjacent is.
I went to 30 degrees.
Oh,
We don't even have to use the triangles right now. We're just you look at the circle.
yeah.
So cosine was x. I went to 30 degrees. And if I'm looking at a point, which part's the x?
The first
The first part. So cosine of 30 was square root of 3 over 2. Okay. Okay. What about the tangent of 45?
1.
Tangent would be 1. Because you would take this number divided by this number. Well, they're the same thing, right? So if you divide those out, you get. This is called a unit circle. And this is what we made the paper plates
What's
for.
the difference between a unit circle and a normal circle?
Unit circle, the radius is 1. It's 1 unit. Yes.
Okay, so if the angle's 45, wouldn't it not be 1 though? Because 1 goes all the way across.
1 goes all the way across to here, but the 1 for 45 is here. It's the hypotenuse.
Alright.
Okay? Because this actually, it drops down, this is your 90 degrees, so it
Why
doesn't
does-
make it all the way there.
Why does that one look lower than that one?
Because I stretched it on the,
Oh.
like I wanted to make it as big as I could.
Gotcha. I see.
Okay?
I made it tall.
Okay, what else?
Oh my gosh.
What?
She's like, can you make it taller?
No. Alright, what do you think this point up here would be?
1.
1 would be part of it, but I need a point.
0, 1.
0, 1. Why would it be 0, 1?
Because math.
No, because you're not going anymore.
Okay, you're not going over any, and then you go up. I told you the radius was 1, so what would the point out here be?
1, 0.
1, 0.
That makes sense.
Okay, what would the tangent of 0 degrees be?
0.
0 or undefined?
Undefined.
Undefined.
Triangle that with tangent. That's silly.
What's the definition of a tangent?
Y over X.
Since
Oh,
0
oh,
over
yeah.
1, which is undefined.
Another break time.
Break time, yay.
Only have 6 more minutes.
I've never
Yeah.
seen a wheel.
Not that I'm counting out or anything.
Right.
That's why I need you.
It's
I was about to
broken.
Yeah.
Hey, now it's really big.
And we were asking about how she teaches so everybody uses like her.
She wanted to big circle.
Especially when she uses, and then she has these local partners, and we'll go over after you offer.
Okay, well, this is my y, and this is my x. What's 0 divided by 1?
0.
So the tangent would be 0.
That's
Okay, now if I wanted the cotangent, it would be undefined because it would be 1 divided by 0, and you can't do that. Okay?
Nope.
Okay, now, we're going to fill this all out tomorrow. If you want to make a paper plate, you can. If you make a paper plate, you can use it on your first test. If you don't, you can't. Okay?
Question?
We'll talk about like we just talked about how we get the points. Now I'm going to talk about how we're going to get all the radians, because everything has an angle measurement and everything has a radian
Is
measurement.
that going on our paper plates too?
Mm-hmm. We'll do radians, degrees, the values of the points, your 6 trig functions, the quadrants, and we'll do even and odds, so you know which ones have evens and which ones have odds. Okay? So if you don't want to and you want to copy this down, I can give you a blank sheet of this. You will eventually have to memorize the unit circle. Why? Because you use it a lot. If you're ever going to take calculus, you use it in calculus as well.
Why will not?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop for the day.
Woohoo!